Hey dolls, welcome to our channel. This will be the first video on our YouTube channel. In our video, we're going to explain how to make lip gloss. The first step I'm doing is sanitizing my hands, making sure I have them clean. I already cleaned my station. I cleaned my table way before putting the aluminum foil. The next step I'm doing is grabbing some gloves. As you can see, I just grab regular latex gloves just to make sure I don't get my hands dirty and my products are also clean, free of germs. So here I am struggling to put my gloves on. Once I finally get my gloves on, the next thing I will do is grab a bowl. I use the bowl to mix my lip gloss base, lip gloss oils, and pigment. I use more than one bowl to mix it all together. The first bowl I'm going to use is going to be for my lip gloss base. I get my base at TKB Trading, which I personally think it's the best lip gloss base there is. The next step I'm doing is just gathering all my lip gloss tubes from my squeeze tubes to my wand tubes, just making sure I have it ready for whenever I fill. So I'm setting it up piece by piece. First my squeeze tube and then my wand tube. Here is me grabbing the cap to my squeeze tube. Now I'm going to put the rest away so I can make sure my station is clean. What I'm going to do now is fill up my bowl with lip gloss base. I'm going to put a decent amount in my bowl. Depending on the amount of lip gloss base that you pour, it's how much lip gloss tubes you can make. If you pour just a little, you may only be able to fill up one tube. I usually eye it and make sure that I have enough for at least 3 tubes. Now I'm going to grab a separate bowl. Just so I can mix my oils and my pigment. It is always best to mix your pigments and your oils separate from your base first, just because some pigments don't blend in well with the base at first. So I'm going to grab grapeseed oil, coconut oil, 5 or 6 pumps, and last but not least, a few drops of vitamin E oil, which is great for any skin, lip care, anything like that. Now I am going to look through my pigment and I'm going to use my white pigment from TKB Trading. Most of my pigments and base, lip gloss base, is from TKB Trading. It is a great site. It's not that expensive, it's very affordable, and it has great fast shipping. So now I'm just looking for my brown lip gloss pigment, which is in liquid form, which is best. The liquid pigments tend to be more pigmented than the powder ones. Now I'm just going to pour the pigment into the oil. I want my lip gloss to be very pigmented, so I'm going to pour in a lot of pigment. Next, I'm going to go in with a plastic spoon to blend it all together. You blend, making sure that the pigment is well blended into the oil and there is no oil separation from the pigment. Again, this just makes the pigment more pigmented and it helps it blend in better with the base. I'm going to add a little bit more pigment so it's more brown and blend well. Once I blend well, I'm going to go in with our white pigment, which I'm not fully sure what it's called, but it is a pearled white pigment. I'm going to go in with another plastic spoon because I don't like to just eye it and pour it directly into the bowl, because you may pour in a little too much or too little. So I kind of just go ahead and measure with the spoon. Once I pour in a little bit, I start to see if it's the pigment that I want, and if it's not, then I will pour in a little more. So once I pour in the powder pigment, I'm going to blend it all, making sure it's all well blended and there's no sort of ball in the powder, there's nothing, they're just blended all together into liquid form, making sure it's evenly spread. Once you feel like you like the consistency, or maybe you don't, you can also go ahead and add more oils, which is what I will do here. I'm adding a little bit more coconut oil because I realized I poured down a little too much base and I had too little oil. So I kind of just keep adding until I feel like it's the right amount for each. So once I blend it together, I'm going to grab my base and I'm just going to pour my pigment into the base. Once I do that, then I'll just blend in the base and the pigment in the other bowl. You're going to blend well enough until there is no ball in the base, there is just plain flat. Smooth it out. This may take a little while once you start to blend, because you want to make sure the base is really smooth and it also has the right texture that you want for your lip glosses. If you add more oils, your lip glosses will be smoother on the lip. If you add less oils, then your lip gloss may tend to be a little sticky or too thick. I like to use the right amount of oil because I like when the lip gloss leaves your lips very smoothed out and not sticky. So this is what my consistency looks like. My lip glosses are not sticky. They leave your lips very moisturized. So this is the kind of consistency that you may want. You may want to make sure your lip gloss isn't sticky. It all depends on the preference of the person making it or of your customers. So now I'm going to grab a pipette and I'm also going to grab the Clorox disinfecting wipes. I'm going to bring along my scissors so I'm able to cut it. But before I cut my pipette, I'm going to clean off my scissors. Once I clean off my scissor, I am going to cut my pipette into the right size for my syringe. Once I have that cut, I'm going to grab my syringe, which is 60 milliliters. I usually recommend the 20 milliliter ones. It might be a little more difficult to fill up your tubes since the 20 milliliter ones is a little smaller. But the only bad thing about the 60 milliliter ones is that it catches a lot of air on the inside, so it makes it really difficult to fill up the tubes. You will see now when I start filling up my tubes how it catches air and it makes it more difficult to fill it up. So now I'm just going to blend one last time before I pack up my squeeze tubes. So I used to pour my lip gloss into the squeeze tube, but I realized that once I was ready to close up I didn't pour it into the squeeze tubes. We poured into the syringes, but once I realized that it was kind of harder to push out the lip gloss, since the syringe catches a little bit of air and makes it really hard to push out lip gloss. So what we did was just put your pipette onto your syringe and suck it up. It still catches a little bit of air, but it's kind of neater. You don't have to get your hands as dirty as the other way of pouring it into the syringe, since it does pour out sometimes and just make a big mess. So this way, it's just easier and cleaner. So here I am cleaning off my pipette so I am able to stick it in the tube without making any mess. I am now going to grab my squeeze tube and begin to fill it up. You're going to start by the end of the squeeze tube to make sure there is no bubbles left behind. And you're gonna slowly start filling it up. You can also add flavors to your lip gloss. I didn't add any flavor to this one because I didn't have the right flavor that I wanted for this color, but that's okay. You can either do it with no flavor or flavor, which either way it doesn't taste any different without it. So here I am refilling up my syringe so I'm able to finish off filling up the squeeze tube. Once your squeeze tube is filled up, you're going to cap it, put the cap on it, and you're going to set it aside so you can continue filling up the other tubes. So right now, I am still filling up the syringe so I'm able to fill up the tubes. So here's one squeeze tube down. Now we're gonna fill up to grab our purple so we can fill it up. Once that is done, I am going to grab the stopper and put it in the lip gloss along with the wand tube. That is all for this video. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for more. Bye.